Hello, hello. Hey, my friends, it's so good to see you. Popping in here from a new location, so it looks a little bit different. It's because I'm out of town, but I wanted to share something with you today. So here I am. Basically, if you have an air fryer, and maybe you got an air fryer because you wanted to eat healthier, but you're kind of struggling with the weight, the energy, cravings, maybe blood sugar issues, then I have something you're going to want to stick around for and learn more about. You could possibly be doing all the things right, but just missing one key piece that's making it not work great or not work as well as it can. So today I've got 3 simple hacks that I'm going to share with you. It's going to help you feel better. It's going to help you support your health goals. Or maybe you're like, I don't even have health goals, Kathy. But you've been thinking, maybe I need to do something. This something could be something that helps you. So just go ahead and drop here in the chat. We're just getting people on here. And surprise, surprise, here I am. If you want to let me know in the chat, did you get an air fryer? Was one of the main reasons for health? Maybe it was just like speed. Maybe it's just because it looked like fun. Um, Drop it in the chat. Let me know why you got an air fryer, if it was health related, because that's kind of what we're talking about is healthiness today. Don't mind me today. I'm in high humidity. My hair is not used to that, nor my skin. But it's been a lot of fun. But I would love to hear from you today. Oh, good job. Rena's in Germany. That's so awesome. So let me know. I'm going to share 3 hacks that you can start right now, today, to help reach your health goals. And I've got a special guest coming on here as well. So let me know in the chat, did you get an air fryer to help you eat healthier? And actually, I have had comments and emails from people that are like, I started air frying, or my husband, I got an air fryer for my husband, and he just lost a lot of weight. So it's been fun to hear these stories coming in from so many people. And I'm just pulling up here the right things. So let me know. I'm just going to share my little story here with you. It's so good to see you. You just got yours yesterday. How exciting. We've got people from Germany, another person from Germany. Faster cooking and eating healthier. Yes, Sharon, I 100% agree with you. So let me just tell you, I'm going to get my little thing here. I'm going to just tell you kind of a little bit about the journey I've been on over the last year. A year ago, I was 49, starting to feel all those effects of menopause, not sleeping well, putting on some pounds that normally, like what I used to do to lose weight quickly, wasn't working. And then I started hearing this word. And I'm wondering if you have heard this word, if you know what it means, but the word is insulin resistance. And that, like, I had never heard that word before. I obviously knew what insulin was. And in my mind, I associated it with negativity because my mom was a suffered with type 2 diabetes. And that's actually what did her in at the end, was type 2 diabetes and all the complications from that. But I heard this word. I was like, what in the world does that mean? Insulin resistance. And the more and more I learned, the more amazing it was. High cholesterol. Great, Rena, you're in the right space today because I've got things that will help you with high cholesterol for sure. So anyway, I learned more about insulin resistance, and my guest today is now my health coach. Her name is Brittney. She's going to pop on here in a second, but she's the one that really taught me about insulin resistance, taught me these 3 hacks that I was able to implement. From this, I've lost 10 pounds. I sleep so much better, which is so exciting. And then my husband, even more impressive, down 35 pounds, and we're both feeling so much better. And the fun thing is that I've been able to get hundreds of people doing the same thing, and they're seeing results too. which is a ton of fun. It's so cool. So let me just cut to it, right? I bet you're a little bit curious about what in the world I'm talking about. I'm going to bring on my health coach. Her name is Brittney. Here she comes. And I would love for you to give her a welcome, say hello, just tell her she's been watching, so she sees some of you are from, I see Florida, I've seen Germany, Canadian, Canada, Alabama. I'm visiting the Gulf right now, by the way. So my Florida, Alabama people, I'm here in your vicinity. So it's been so fun. Brittney, hi.
Hi, thanks for
Thank
having
you
me
so
on.
much. Thank you so much for coming on and helping me, because here I am out of town, but just with the timing and everything, this was the best day to
Yeah.
share with everybody what has
Yeah.
been life-changing.
Well, and I'm so glad you're sharing about this. I have found this to be life-changing too. I'm kind of a person who feels like I've always cared about healthy food and I've always tried to eat healthy. And the more I learn, the more I realize sometimes things that I thought were healthy weren't necessarily for me. And, I grew up during the whole fat-free era. And then now I'm learning all of this, like Kathy's talking about insulin resistance. And if you've never heard of that, you will start hearing about it. People are starting to talk about it, and it's going to be the thing that people realize over the next decade. And it really is the root of so many of our problems. I've seen people on here talking about cholesterol and blood sugar problems and weight gain. And all of that stems back to the same issue. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. And like Kathy said, we've got some easy hacks for you. But before we launch into that story or those steps, I would love to hear a little bit more about your husband's story, Kathy. Would you mind explaining what was he struggling with before he started using these hacks?
Yeah, so I'm now 50. He's like 53, 54. And as we get older, right, the strategies to lose weight don't work out. He was a beanpole forever and then hit his 40s, and then metabolism slowed down. And I need to ask him permission to share his before and after, because they're so great. But I haven't done that yet. So, but he was just starting to pack on pounds, and actually was addicted to Coke and drinking 3 to 4 Cokes a day and not feeling good. He loves to golf, and he would come home after 18 holes and be exhausted and just done for. Whereas before, he could come home and still do things and feel good. But we actually had a whole issue of kidney stones in August of last year. That was a good little wake-up call for him. And the ER doctor was like, number one, they took them forever to get his blood drawn because he was so dehydrated. And number two, the ER doctor was like, oh my word, have you gone to a doctor about your diabetes? And we're like, what? But he's like, your glucose numbers are so high. He was mad. He was like, you need to get into a doctor and get this taken care of and get a hold of this. This was aside from the whole kidney stone thing. But after that scare for him, because I had been doing this and changing the way I was eating and feeling good for a couple months at this point. And I was like, honey, hey, guess what? I have something that can help you. And I've learned things that we can change. And so I taught him what Brittney's going to share here, the way we just change how we eat, not even necessarily what we eat. Yes, we cut out the Coke instantly, but and he's down 35 pounds. His A1C is going down. His glucose numbers are going. We got him a CGM to kind of monitor things, and he's been doing so much better. Biggest thing for him though is he'll go golf 18 holes and is still has energy and is not dying and doesn't need a golf cart, things like that. So that's been fun.
Yeah, that's huge. I think the way that it impacts your day in, day out life is just as important. And I think we have an audience here of people who are looking for healthier options, which is why they have an air fryer. And we have an audience of people who are looking for things to be a little easier, right? That's kind of the wonderful thing about air fryers is it does make everything a little bit
Oh, yeah.
easier, a little less messy, a little quicker. And so that's what I feel like we're going to teach today is
Mhm.
easy, simple ways that you're going to be a little bit healthier. And so it's going to go right in alignment with the way you're already wired. You're the type of people that are going to love this. So I'm
Yes.
excited to share a little bit. The whole reason that a little bit of background on me, the whole reason that I got involved in this to begin with is because I'm going to show you a picture actually.
I'm going to make myself smaller so we can see your picture a little bit better.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so this is my dad, and my kids when they were younger. And my dad, best dad in the world. I mean, just my absolute hero. My dad was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer when he was 58. So hearing you talk, Kathy, I mean, it just reminds me again of like truly how I know your husband isn't that old yet, but not far, right? Like truly young, my dad was. And my dad had struggled with blood pressure and cholesterol problems. His weight was always up and down because, like most of us, when life got hard in any way, or even when we were celebrating, food was kind of the answer to all things. And so, what we found was that he, without knowing, was creating this insulin resistance in his body. And even though all of his different problems were being treated, he had psoriasis and there was a medication for that. And he had high blood pressure and there was a medication, right? He was taking care of the things. But the reason that he had all those problems in the first place, we didn't know that everything was connected. We didn't know that by solving for the root problem, we could not have any of those problems. And sadly for my dad, the psoriasis medication that he had taken to clear up his skin, we later found out had a black box warning of colon cancer, which is what my dad passed away from. And, you guys are probably like me, like you don't read all the fine print. You're not looking for the scary things. You just trust that what your doctors are telling you is good. And and of course they have good intents too. They just want to help us, right? But man, now I know things and I feel just inclined to shout it from the rooftops to anybody that will listen, because I truly and firmly believe that there are simple shifts that you can make that will either prevent serious disease or help you make a U-turn if you're already going down that path. And I've watched this firsthand. My husband's off his statins. He's lost weight. I'm off my acne medication. I've lost weight. Like I've seen this work, and everybody experiences a little bit of a different symptom when they're struggling with this. So if you're struggling at all, even just you'd like to lose that last 10 pounds, what we're going to teach you is going to help. I'm going to share my screen if that's okay, Kathy.
Yes, please.
Okay. Do you see it there?
Okay. Yep. 2-stage. There we go.
Okay. So why is this happening? And why do so many of us struggle? Thank you, Sharon, in the chat. I see you guys in there. And thanks. I know so many of you can relate to watching loved ones struggle with health challenges, heart disease and diabetes. And these things are so prevalent. So I know I'm not alone. The problem is huge. And in fact, if you feel like you are the only one struggling, I just want you to know that the most recent study showed that 93% of Americans have bad or damaged metabolic health. And I know this isn't just an America problem. I know that we're seeing this worldwide, that people are struggling with their health. In America, diabetes is now 50% of Americans are pre-diabetic or diabetic. This is a big deal. Like it's rampant. And I like thinking about this logically because I have kids that are in school. Okay. So I think about my kids in their school classes. If 1 or 2 kids are failing, the kids might be struggling with something going on with the kid, right? But if 93% of the kids in the class are struggling or failing, we can pretty well assume that we've got a systemic problem, that something's going on with the teachers or the system, and that's where it's rooted. And that's the exact same thing that is happening in our country right now. We have a massive systemic problem. heart disease is now something that is happening. It's a leading cause of death globally. And children are dealing with diabetes and obesity and fatty liver disease at a rate that we have never seen before. This is a very life-threatening thing, and it doesn't have to be this way. So if you're wondering if you might be part of that 93%, here are the main categories, okay? So if you have high blood sugars of any kind, cholesterol issues, high blood pressure, a little extra weight, especially if you notice it around your midsection, or heart disease, then you are in that category, okay? But we also get early warning signs. And these early warning signs are trying to tell us something. They're trying to tell us that we are insulin resistant and that we need to take action. So if you're bloated, if you have irritable bowel syndrome, or if you have inflammation or headaches, brain fog, like I said, psoriasis before, but also eczema or acne or skin tags, mental health issues like anxiety and depression, gestational diabetes. Maybe you had that when you were pregnant. Hormonal imbalances like polycystic ovarian syndrome for women or erectile dysfunction for men. Oh, I'm going to go back to that really quick, because up here in this little circle, if you have this darker pigmentation around your neck or in the folds of your skin, if you have cravings for sugar and salty foods, if you feel like you're constantly hungry, even a couple hours after you've eaten, or you get migraines or fatigue, and especially if you've noticed this like midsection thickening, these are all indications of the same problem. And you guys probably know better than I. You could guess what I'm about to say. Why is this happening? Why are so many people struggling? Our modern diet, okay? We have genetically modified fruits and vegetables even. We've made them bigger and sweeter than they've ever been. And you always hear people talking about the processed food, right? Processed food. And I'm sitting here on a live with a lot of people who like to cook at home. So you guys are probably cooking at home and you're not eating a lot of super processed foods. But even the foods that we buy at the grocery store that we cook with have often been processed, right? And so what do I mean by processed? Well, if you take a grain of wheat out in the wild, the way that nature intended it, and you process it, part of how you do that is by taking off the bran, okay? And then we're left, after you take the bran off, with the white fluffy stuff, the flour that we make our bread and our baked goods with, right? That is processed wheat. Even an apple can be processed, right? We can remove the fiber and the pectin by putting it through a juicer. One side has all the fiber and the other side, you've got the juice, right? That's just processed apple. Even sugar, think about it. In nature, it came packaged in fiber. Whether you believe in God or Mother Nature, whatever you believe, I believe that God intended that all carbohydrates would come packaged in fiber. Then our body knows exactly what to do with them. It knows how to process them. And so if you take like sugar cane and then you take the fiber out, again, this is what we're left with. This is what we're used to when we think of sugar. But that's not how nature intended it. Rice. These are not two different types of rice. This white one that we're used to has been processed. It's had the bran and the germ removed. And so it went from being fiber mixed with carbs to just straight starchy carbs. So why does this matter? Well, when we eat a lot of fiber, when we eat a lot of carbohydrates without fiber, it means that our meals, without even trying, end up being pretty high carb, okay? And when we eat something that's high carb, we have what's called a glucose spike. And what goes up must come down. We have this big spike, even not just sugar. We think of glucose that it's sugary foods, but we're talking about chips and bread and bagels. We're talking about, rice and waffles and cereal. These all break down into our body and cause a glucose spike. And a couple hours later, we have a crash. And when we have this crash, it triggers more hunger. So we are hungry all the time. Think about a day in your life, okay? This is most of us. You guys can even come into the chat and tell me, what do you typically have for breakfast? What would you guess the average American has for breakfast? Probably coffee with cream and sugar, maybe a piece of toast or a bagel or a waffle or a muffin or a pastry of some sort, maybe a bowl of cereal. Maybe you're trying to be really healthy. And so, you're having oatmeal with fruit, or you made a fruit smoothie, right? All of these break down. And from the start of the day, we have what's called a glucose spike. And this is followed by the crash. And then in between lunch and dinner, we have a snack. Or excuse me, breakfast and lunch, we have a snack. Maybe we have another snack, handful of nuts, a couple of pretzels. And then we have lunch, followed by some snacks. Because between lunch and dinner sometimes is a long time. You might eat lunch at noon and not be eating dinner till 6 or 7 o'clock. And so surely you can't be expected not to eat or drink that whole time. So you might have a Coke or another coffee or a protein shake or a granola bar or any type of snack in between lunch and dinner. Then you have your dinner. And the dinner, some of us are done for the day when we have dinner, but not me. And maybe not you. My whole life after dinner, I would wander around the kitchen after I got my kids to bed, and I would look for just a little something that I needed before I went to bed. Did anybody else do that? So then we've got this late night snack, and then finally our blood sugars start dropping. All right. And then we go to sleep. But then, as you can see, we start our day the exact same way again. So the problem with this is every time there's sugar in your blood, we're just going to simplify it and say sugar, but it's anything you eat that breaks down, right? Anytime that's in your blood, then our body produces this hormone insulin. And insulin takes a little bit longer to drop off. But because we had a snack and another snack, insulin never did drop off. And then we had lunch. And we snacked again, so it never had a chance to come down. And so insulin, this hormone, is doing the job of putting all this energy into our cells all day long, which means insulin is in our bloodstream all day long. It is almost as if our cells are just bathing in this insulin. And so your body will start cranking out even more insulin. And the problem with this is that when insulin is high, even if you're in a calorie restriction, even if the foods you're eating are healthy, if you're eating several times all throughout the day, you cannot burn your body fat for fuel. So if you've been wanting to lose a little bit of weight and you can't, it could be because your insulin levels are too high. Okay. And maybe you're like me. I actually had a nutritionist and a dietitian tell me that I should have 6 small meals all throughout the day to keep my blood sugar stable. But this created a long-term problem for me because insulin was always elevated. Now, I just want for 1 second, Kathy, could you take the screen share off for just 1 second? Because I just want to explain a little bit I want to explain what insulin resistance actually is. So imagine you've got this cell and let's say that this is like, I don't know, your brain cell, or it could be your liver cell. It could be any cell in your body, a muscle cell. All of our cells need glucose for energy. Okay. And insulin is what gets the energy into the cell. So let's say, I don't know, you've just eaten something, and it breaks down in your body into sugar. And now the sugar is floating around and needs to get into the cell. And so insulin comes along and says, I have energy for you. Brittney just ate. And if the cell is working properly, if insulin is working properly, then it will open up and the energy will go in, and then the cell will be powered and will have good, steady energy. But what often happens is we've got these cells that just have insulin bathing around them all the time. Insulin is knocking all day long, all the time. And the cell can't answer that all the time. So the cell becomes insulin resistant. Okay. The cell's like, oh, you're always knocking. I can't answer. I have to tune you out. And so the cell stops listening. Now the cell might be full of energy, or it might not even have energy, but it's insulin resistant. So even if it needs energy, it can't get it. And this is what causes some of our massive problems. I'm going to show you this. Is this backwards, Kathy? I hope you can see this the right way. And I'm going to show you on a slide in just a minute here. But some of the things that this causes over time: type 2 diabetes, stroke, heart disease, obesity, migraines, high blood pressure, sarcopenia. This is when you start losing muscle and you start getting the flabby arms. Anybody ever had that? For men, getting erectile dysfunction. Alzheimer's is now being called type 3 diabetes. This is very serious. This is all because of the same problem. Arthritis, fatty liver, polycystic ovarian syndrome. This is the leading cause of infertility in the world. 1 in 4 women are dealing with this. It's insulin resistance of the ovaries. And how it manifests in men: insulin resistance of the blood vessels. Okay. Childhood obesity, osteoarthritis, dementia, migraines. These are all the same root cause. Okay. And it's happening because we have too much insulin in our bodies all the time. And so I thought it was important to explain what the problem is and why we're struggling so much before I explain the 3 easy hacks that will solve all of this for you. Okay, Kathy, let's go back to the screen sharing. Okay, so I just showed you what this can lead to. If you want to take a picture of that so you can see it more clearly, this kind of gives you an idea of things. So now the question is, what can we do about it? What can we do? And the first thing I'm going to recommend is that we eat less frequently. So we were spiking insulin all day long because we were eating all day long. But what if when we went to bed at night and we started our fast, because we're sleeping and we're not eating, right? You wake up in the morning and instead of having breakfast, breaking your fast, you just keep on fasting a little bit longer. You push it back till 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. or 11 a.m., maybe even all the way till lunch. And you just have lunch and you just have dinner. What if we did that? Okay, we wouldn't be spiking insulin all day. We would be able to get into fat burning mode and use some of the excess fluff that we have on our bodies. Okay, and we could finally crack into that because most of us have thousands of calories stored on our bodies, but we're so worried about eating the right amount of calories and hitting macro goals and doing all these things that we never get to utilize what our body has been storing for us because insulin's been too high. So we need to become insulin sensitive. So the first step is eat less frequently. Okay. What do you think the second step is going to be based on the problems we talked about? Okay. If problem number 1 is that we're eating too frequently, and problem number 2 is that we aren't getting enough fiber, 95% of us are not getting enough fiber, then the second thing is going to be that you need to eat more fiber. Okay. And for most people, getting more fiber in their diet is kind of tricky. I'm going to stop the share for just a second, then we're going to come back to it. Fiber. All right. When I say fiber, I do not mean Wheaties. I mean like cruciferous vegetables. And I'm going to show you what happens at the start of your meal if you have fiber first. So I'm going to mix up my fiber supplement. This is one of our hacks that I'm going to show you. And some of you may have tried fiber supplements over the counter before, like Metamucil or Benefiber. This is quite different. Goodness, I got a weird one that was harder to open. Sorry. They're usually pretty easy. So I'm going to put my fiber supplement in this bottle. I'm going to shake it up. Okay. And normally I just shake it up and I just gulp, gulp, gulp it down. And then I eat my meal. And this gets me fiber. Remember how all of nature's carbs come packaged in fiber, but we've made them bigger and sweeter and now they don't have enough fiber. So we are going to put fiber back into our diet in a very easy, sustainable way. So I'm going to show you what happens. We're going to do a little experiment. When you eat foods like this, they break down into little particles, little fibers, and I'm going to show you what happens inside your body with that fiber, okay? So I'll do a little demonstration with this so you can see what happens when we add fiber back in. But if we are willing to add fiber and eat less frequently, we are going to have some massive results. Now, one really cool thing, we have for some of you, you're going to be able to get our free food guide. And also we have a how to eat your foods in order. This is the next thing I wanted to show you. Okay. And you can get this free downloadable document. We'll explain how in a minute here, but I'm going to show you up kind of close. All right. So ideally we eat our fiber first. So if you're looking at a plate like this, that would mean that you start with the broccoli and then you second have some protein and healthy fats. And last, you eat your carbohydrates. Why would we want to do that? I used to think that it all just kind of mixes together in your stomach anyway, like a washing machine. Does it really matter if you eat in order? Yes, it does. I'm going to show you why. Because if you have fiber first, it breaks down into these particles and it forms. Are you ready for this? I'm going to pour this for you. This hasn't thickened up very long. It will continue to thicken as it sits. But already you can see that it has started to get kind of thick, okay? And as this gets thick, you can see it's starting to really coat this bottle. Used to be a clear bottle, now kind of coated, all right? And that's what we want to have happen inside the lining of our intestines. First of all, this is what your gut microbes eat. So you always hear people talk about good gut health and leaky gut and inflammation, autoimmune problems, skin issues. They all go back to your gut. Even anxiety, depression, a lot of mental health issues are directly connected to your gut. How do you get your gut health better? Well, you want to feed your gut fiber. Okay, fiber is what those gut microbes eat. And this particular fiber has over 7 different forms of plant fibers. So most over-the-counter ones, it's just a single type of fiber. It's like wheat dextrin or psyllium husk. This is different. If you coat your intestines with this first, then what happens is when you eat something like this, that normally would literally turn into sugar, hit your bloodstream, cause a glucose spike, and you'd be hungry a couple of hours later. Instead, we're going to slow that whole process down because we are going to take this fiber, we are going to eat that first, and then we're going to have this, and look what happens. Do you see this? Do you see how it literally wraps that bagel in fiber? Now, some of the sugar, the glucose that will come from this carbohydrate will literally get stuck in this goo and won't even make it into your bloodstream. A lot of it still will make it into your bloodstream, but it will be way slower. It will take much longer for those sugars to get into your bloodstream. So instead of having a spike and a crash, it's going to be more like a rolling hill and you're going to feel full longer. So even though you ate a bagel, as long as you have fiber first, it's going to change the way your body processes this processed carbohydrate. Okay. So eat less frequently, put fiber back into your diet, have fiber first, and eat your foods in order. Save your carbohydrates till the end of your meal. Your body has hormones that are triggered by eating fiber. Fiber is much more filling. Think about apple juice. It's a perfect example. It takes like 3 apples to make a single glass of apple juice. If you ate all 3 apples, you would be so full. What's the difference between the apples and the apple juice? The fiber. Okay, so putting fiber back in is filling. Fiber also balances cholesterol. It triggers the hormones that tell you that you're not hungry anymore. It feeds your gut microbes, helps with digestion and gut health. It helps with mental health, and it massively lowers the blood sugar spike. So usually when blood sugars start creeping up, we get prescribed metformin or something like that. Maybe some of you are on metformin. What's amazing about this stuff, this lowers blood sugars 37%, your post-meal glucose spike. Metformin is only 28%. Okay, so this is stronger than the leading medication with no side effects, all natural. So I'm going to explain a little bit about this 2-part protocol, because I know I said eat less frequently. And for some of you, you're thinking, oh, that sounds kind of hard. Or maybe you've tried intermittent fasting before and it just wasn't for you. There is a 2-part protocol that Kathy and I have been using. Same thing her husband used, same thing my husband used. This is the thing that we are helping hundreds of people to regain their health by making it simple and easy. Because yes, before every single meal, you could have a diverse salad and make sure that you're getting plenty of multiple different forms of fiber. But most of us don't do that consistently before everything we eat. I know I can't always be consistent. And so I love having this 2-part protocol handy in my purse, in my pocket with me everywhere I go. And so Kathy, maybe I'm going to share this again, but maybe you could come back on to and just explain a little bit about how you like using this. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to just show everybody the way that it's intended to be used is before your first meal of the day. You wake up and you're fasting, and we want to push that meal back. And so we start by sipping on this yerba mate. You've got yours? I've got mine. Okay. So I haven't, for me, it's 12:40 p.m. I'm in California, and I still haven't eaten anything today. I woke up, I had my first mate, and then I had my second one. This is actually my second one of the day. I had my first one hot. I like a hot drink in the morning. And my second one, I'm sipping on iced. And I just sip on those all morning. And they are literally like willpower in a packet. They make you forget about food. And I have found it makes it super easy to fast. It also helps with liver function. It shrinks fat cells. Anything else you would add that you like about the mate?
Well, just so I'm on vacation right now. So we went to dinner last night with my brother and his wife, my husband and I did, and we indulged. It was an amazing restaurant. And I had dessert, anyway, but I just felt too much. So I am at Central Time. So it's 2:38 my time. And I have not eaten today because I just want to clear out my stomach. I want to feel better. And so, yeah, I'm doing great. Just sipping on my drink. I feel fantastic. But I'm also enjoying our vacation. So it's fun.
Well, and that's actually what I love about this system, because this doesn't require that you're on a certain diet. Okay.
Yeah.
This doesn't require that, like, if you're a carnivore, if you're a vegetarian, if you're on keto, if you do Mediterranean, it does not matter. You can literally do this anywhere, anytime. If you're on a vacation, if you're at a wedding, if you're at a birthday party, most things you've tried before, you're either on the wagon or you're off the wagon. And I feel like this is the first thing. I mean, it's been 2.5 years for me. It's so simple. Like, I just drink these when I'm not eating. And then I drink this. Oh, excuse me. Other one. And drink this one before my meal. It's that simple. When you're not eating, when you are eating. And when you order the protocol, Kathy has a really good discount for you. You get $75 off, and you get a 30-day supply of both products. Okay. So you're going to get the mate and the fiber all in one kit. In fact, it comes, do I have one here? Yeah.
Well, and what I love is like these support the hacks that you taught us. Like you don't have to buy this. You can still do the hacks, but I can tell you I was not good at fasting and pushing breakfast off. And I had my food addictions. And so
Yeah.
I was nervous starting this. And then I did. And I was like, oh, this makes it so easy. And all that chatter of eat this, eat this, eat this, gone.
Well,
Anyway.
I think the fact that it kind of lessens, I mean, it does. It's a
Mhm.
natural GLP-1 booster. So when you're sipping on this mate, you guys have all heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, tirzepatide, all the different medications, the weight loss medications. And those are synthetic versions of this GLP-1 that most people that are struggling with their health are deficient in. And
Mhm.
so maybe some of you are on those medications. I get it. Like this is a big problem, right? The cool thing about this is, first of all, if you're on a medication, you can take this with it because this is not medication. This is a nutraceutical, very different than pharmaceutical. Pharmaceuticals are medication. Nutraceuticals are natural products that work as well as medication, but have no side effects. And so you can take this, this boosts your natural GLP-1 production 60 to 70%. It's huge. My cholesterol panel drastically changed. You'll notice LDL comes down, triglycerides come down, HDL goes up. That's the good one. A1Cs are a 90-day reading. A1C is if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic. That's the number they look at. It's a 3-month snapshot. And actually, the manufacturer that makes this, Kathy and I do not make this. Okay. We love it. We love the company and we can't say enough good things about it because it works. But the manufacturer that makes this offers a 90-day money back guarantee. And the reason that they do that is because they know that if you use this properly and consistently for 90 days, you will be able to prove on your labs that it works. Numbers don't lie. And if for any reason you're unsatisfied, they give you a 90-day money back guarantee. So you can drink every last packet for 90 days. And if you don't get the results you were hoping for, you can just get your money back. That's the cool thing about the way it comes too, because it says very simply on the box, it says 2 products, 1 practice equals measurable results. And you'll get your choice of your mates. You get 2 of those, you get 2 per day. And then you get your fiber to take before your heaviest meal of the day. I actually buy an extra box of this fiber because I like having my fiber with both meals, but you don't have to do that. You can start with it just as it comes. And maybe one of your meals each day is already low carb. And so you might not have the balance with that meal, but then with your heavier carb meal, you definitely want to have the balance. So does it also prevent nutrition in our food from absorbing? No, that's the beauty of it because this is solid nutrition right here. This has like the fibers that your gut microbiome eat. That's the beauty of this. It doesn't block anything good from getting through. It just repairs the gut lining so that the bad pathogens don't get through. Because our bodies know how to absorb nutrients. It's when our lining of our gut gets messed up that all of a sudden things sneak through that shouldn't and cause us all kinds of problems. And so it fixes that, but it doesn't stop the nutrients from getting through. That's a really good question. Thanks for asking that. If anybody has any other questions, feel free to also ask that. And Kathy, maybe you want to share the offers that we have, but I also thought you could put my screen back up and I could just show briefly like how this looks in a given day, because you guys have had some exposure now to the pictures of your glucose going up and down throughout the day. So this is your lunch, this is your dinner, and you may choose to have your 2 mates in the morning and then your balance before your dinner. Or maybe you want to have 1 mate in the morning and you have your second one between lunch and dinner, because maybe you feel kind of snacky in between lunch and dinner. And if that's the case, the mate can really help you with that. Then you still have balance before your heaviest meal. So this is just a graph showing you, this was tested in front of a waffle breakfast. It lowered the post-meal glucose spike 37%. We don't even recommend a waffle breakfast, but that's what we wanted to test it on because we wanted to see like what would happen. What happens when you're on vacation? What happens when you're at a birthday party and you eat something you wouldn't normally eat? You will have a tool that can help you. And this is not magic, it's just science. It's what fiber does when you have it before carbohydrates. This was the study I was talking about with this GLP-1. Some of you might already be like, I don't even eat breakfast. Like, I don't know, I'm already kind of fasting. Fasting with water has some incredible benefits, but the mate they tested upped that GLP-1 production 60 to 70% and helped with liver function. It also was the best pre-workout because it enhances your muscles. So you can use this pre-exercise and exercise fasted. It's so amazing. Okay. I see a couple questions coming in and I'm going to answer those. I do want to tell you that when you first start intermittent fasting and adding fiber in before your meals, even if you don't use these products, okay, just in general, you might notice that you feel kind of lightheaded or you have a headache. And maybe some of you have tried fasting or adding fiber and you've had these problems and you've thought, oh, I don't think this is a good fit for me. Stay with it. Because after a short amount of time, usually it's 10 days, sometimes a couple weeks, your body will shift into magical results. Your cravings will decrease, your food preferences will improve, you'll feel comfortable while you fast, you'll have steady, focused energy and a mood boost and a clear mind. Kathy talked about better sleep. This happens. Your digestion will be improved. You'll notice you lose inches. Your clothing will fit differently. Your body composition will shift. Your cholesterol and your blood sugar can get balanced. Your blood pressure gets regulated. Your skin clears up. Your joint pain decreases. Your inflammation decreases. So the amount of benefits that come from utilizing this two-part protocol and doing these 3 simple hacks really can change your quality of life extremely. Like Kathy talked about her husband. You're going to go golfing. You're not going to need the cart. You're going to feel great by the end of the day instead of exhausted. And you can do the things that you love. So I'm going to stop the share on that. But I wanted to go into the chat. If anybody has any questions, and maybe Kathy, while I'm looking for questions, you could just tell them all where they're going to find this with your discount and also what they're going to get if they do decide to purchase.
Yes. So I have a couple things for you. If you go to, here's what I decided to do. At first, we were just going to give those printables to anybody that decided to get this protocol. But I decided I'm going to get it to everybody. So what you can do is if you text the word food to this phone number, then you'll get a response in about a minute with the link to that. It's like the magic of eating your foods in order. And then also.
And it actually gives you a lot of good ideas. Like, because you might be like, oh, I'm supposed to have fiber first. What would be considered a good fiber to have first? Or proteins or healthy fats, like what's a good healthy fat? What would a good protein be? Because it matters that the quality of your food is good. And so there's a big list here that really helps. And it tells you about the L-leucine rich proteins, which are the ones that help you build muscle. So that's a really good guide. And then this other one looks like this. And it's so nice because it's not a diet. It just says, these are the foods to enjoy. These are the ones to eat moderately, and these are the ones to avoid.
Yes. So just an easy breakdown. So, yep, that's a little free gift from Brittney and me to anybody that wants it. And then if you are just feeling like this protocol is something you want to try, I have a special discount link. I'm going to put it up here on the screen, and I will also pop it here in the chat so you can click right to it. This will get you the discount. Now, Brittney talked about the $75 off. So you can go buy this on Amazon, but you don't get my discount. You don't get the 90-day money-back guarantee. You don't get all of the support from me and from Brittney and from all of the people that we have working to help you. Because here's the deal. Why am I even doing this? Number one, because I feel so much better. But number two, if you've watched me for a while, you know that I lost my mom in the fall of 2022. And it's been amazing to see what this is doing for people. And I 100% believe that if she would have known about this 4 years ago, she would be here with us today. Absolutely. This is changing lives, extending lives, and not just to extend life, but to feel good. Mm. And so why on earth would I just keep that to myself? I can't. So Brittney comes on because she's so great at explaining it and is so educated on it, and she helps here. So that's how you can come and sign up, and it's a guaranteed product, and see what this does for you.
I thought before we closed too, I could just share a few stories, because I mean, I've just explained a lot of the science and why it's all happening, but I wanted you to meet a couple people. This is Claudia. You can see she's lost 51 pounds, but her A1C went from a 10.4 to a 5.1, and she's not on any medications. This is someone who was a type 2 diabetic for 23 years. Life-changing. This is my friend Katie. Katie, I know in real life, Katie has lost 100 pounds. Katie had polycystic ovarian syndrome. She was on metformin. I mean, she actually tried Ozempic and could not lose weight. She was so frustrated, pre-diabetic, cholesterol high, and she's on 0 medications, down 100 pounds, cholesterol perfect, diabetes gone. She was headed down a one-way street, and she was trying to go as slow as she could with all the medications. And now she's made a U-turn, and she is not dealing with that anymore. This is my brother. I mean, I'm telling you, this is something that I recommend to everybody I know because of what it does. Look at my brother's body composition. You can just see, like, yes, there are extreme situations. Some of us have a long way to go, but some of us just have a little way to go, and this can really help. This one is Brenda. She's 75, okay? 75 years old. And you may think like, okay, it's too late for me. She was diabetic. She was on 11 medications. She had 2 stints. She was a heart patient, off all her medications, dropped weight, no medications at all, and did that at her age, okay? This is Nelda. Look at the difference in Nelda's inflammation. I mean, can you believe it? It's just a game changer. She's lost the 30 pounds, but she's also off metformin and her statins. Her cholesterol went down to a healthy level in just 30 days. Patricia, another one where it's just like, oh, that's like a minor change, but like, hey, we all want to look maybe a little bit better in that dress, right? And Henry, massive change. This one is such an incredible one. Reversed diabetes. A1C went from a 7.1 to a 5.2. That Michelle lost 70 pounds. Chambry. I mean, you guys, these are countless stories. These are real people that I've actually met. Reversed type 2 in 4 months. A1C went from a 9.4 to a 5.7, lost 61 pounds. This is Jeff. This works fantastically. So if you or somebody that you love is struggling, you have nothing to lose, you should totally try this with Kathy's discount and just see what happens for you. We have a support group that you get to join right away, and we have all kinds of really great resources for you. So if you're on the fence and you're like, I don't know, sounds like another gimmick, sounds like just another thing, trust me, you do not have anything to lose because you've got that 90-day money-back guarantee, but you've also got massive support. Kathy's not going anywhere. She's actually going to show up for you, and you're going to hear from her, and she's going to follow up, and you're going to know how to use this.
In fact, I get sad when people don't respond. Yes. When they don't talk to me, because I'm like, I can help you.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. And can we really quickly talk about the cost neutrality of it?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Actually, there's been a couple comments in here. So it's $5 a day with the discount. The discounted price makes it about $5 a day. So it's $159 for the month. You can use your HSA or your FSA if you have that. Okay. So it's covered by those, which is amazing. And even if you've already purchased it with a regular card or whatever, you can actually submit that to your HSA and they will reimburse you. Okay. So that's an amazing thing about it. But think about this for a minute. You're skipping a meal and snacks. Like, I can't even think of anywhere you can go to get a meal for $5. Even a beverage, Starbucks, Dunkin', like is more than $5 just for the beverage alone. And so for the $5 that you're saving, let's just round it down to five. The $5 that you're saving for a meal and snacks, you're going to get these 3 drinks per day that absolutely can change and improve the quality of your life and possibly even save your life, depending on your specific situation. It's incredible.
Yeah. It's so worth it. And that's what you mentioned. Some people, I think I saw a comment in there about you eat healthy already. Like for me, I didn't even necessarily think I was like, oh, I could probably use 5 pounds down. I'm down 10. And it was funny because I got the first 5 pounds and then my body settled in and I went for about 5 months. And then all of a sudden I lost another 5 and my body has settled into that. And so for me, it's like preventative maintenance. Like it's the gym membership that I will forever do because I want to feel good and I want to be healthy and I want to prevent all of the junk that my mom went through.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go down feeling like that. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
so
I mean, I think like that's Delena's question here, where she's saying what happens if your glucose if you use the protocol and you're already eating healthy. And I think that's the beauty of this is like, you're already eating healthy. You're already doing everything you need, how, but you're a little bit set up for failure just simply because of the way that the food system is and the way that foods are manufactured and processed, even fruits and vegetables. And so this is just going to add in what's missing for you. And you're going to, like, for me, I mean, I lost weight initially. It took about 5 months, I would say. Over like 5 or 6 months, I lost some weight. It's not a weight loss system. That's just like a side effect that happens for people that have weight to lose. But like, I haven't continued losing weight. I've just maintained that, like Kathy. And it's been over 2 years. And it's the simplest way to get the things that I was missing. So I think that could really help and kind of help you get to your goals.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so good. And it's just feeling good and taking care of our bodies. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. So that's what we've got for you. If you want to take any other questions, if you can take advantage of that referral code. What I also love is that you get on the subscription, you'll get that extra $10. So you can choose without the subscription, but you might as well do the subscription. The company emails you 5 days before they even ship. You can change the order. There are different flavors. I would say sign up, maybe try the lemon mate.
Yes.
I do like the lemon ginger, but if you don't love, actually, I have somebody that doesn't like ginger and they love the lemon ginger more than the lemon. But to be safe, sign up, pick the lemon, and then Brittney was showing you the berry fiber. There's orange or berry. And honestly, in the beginning, I loved the orange and I did not like the berry, but now my gut has changed and I love the berry. I like the orange too, but I love the berry now.
Yeah, I like berry best, but they're both good. And I agree. Start with lemon. Great advice. And I think that's with the subscription, you actually save an extra $20 because you get $10 off and free shipping. I mean, about depending on how much shipping is to your area, but you don't have to stay on subscription. Like, it's a click of a button to cancel. You don't have to like make a phone call. It's not an annoying process. If you change your mind or want to cancel, you absolutely can, but it does save you a lot. And I mean, like Kathy's saying, we recommend that you give it a little time. Let your body adjust. Like, you really don't have anything to lose because of that money back guarantee. And so you might as well like commit to the 90 days and then you can go from there. Right.
Yeah. And for some of my people that have signed up with me, they are seeing instant. And then some, it is a little bit longer. And that's what's fascinating is like everybody's so different. So that's why I'm like, please talk to me when you sign up because I want to hear how it's going for you. Right. Because we learn from your experience won't be exactly like mine. Mine wasn't like Brittney's. Anyway, it's super cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So great.
Yeah. Anything
Okay,
else?
so hopefully you guys have, you know where to get the food guides and the food order guide. You know where to get the Feel Great system. Give it a try, that referral code. And we would love to, for those that want to get going with this in the next couple days, we would love to plug you into this group that we have existing, because we've been doing this challenge in there. And so you're going to get instant access to that. And you're going to be able to go to your day one and watch a little video that corresponds with each day of you using the protocol for your first 30 days. If you want that extra support, it's very good.
It's awesome. Yes, that's exactly what I did. I came in right after a challenge and I just watched all that great information.
Yeah.
And it helped me understand what was happening in my body. And
Yeah.
you know, and yes, we are all different. And so there's no reason to hesitate, because just responding to this comment here from Just Not Good, because there's a 90-day money back guarantee. I mean, there really is nothing to lose here.
Yeah.
But just saying.
Yeah. Well, and same person made the comment that about saying, trust me. You don't even have to trust me. You don't know me. I don't expect you to trust me. You shouldn't trust me. I mean, I'm a stranger to you, but you don't have to trust me, because the company does the money back guarantee, and your body, you're going to see the proof in your own experience. Right. And I'm confident, just based on the hundreds of people that I've seen, that anybody that uses this properly does get measurable results. But if you happen to be the random one who doesn't, then of course I would help you. I would call for you and help you get your money back.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, it's so good. Thank you, Brittney. I just love listening to you teach, because it helps me remember little things where I'm like, oh, that's why I love the fiber, or, you know, anyway,
Yeah.
I love it. I appreciate it so much.
My pleasure. Thanks so much. I love this audience. And I know you're all people, like I said, looking for simple, quick, easy ways to get the things that are going to improve your life, and also be a little healthier with this air fryer. And so add this in, just incorporate what we're teaching you into what you're already doing. And I think it's going to be a win.
Yep, absolutely. Everybody that knows me knows that I love easy, and that's also why I choose air fryer, and that's why this protocol has worked so great for me. I'm going on almost a year, actually. A year next month, so
Incredible.
I love it.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, everybody. I hope to see you on the flip side of this and support you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sharon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brittney.
Of course.
It was so fun.
See you all soon, hopefully. Maybe we'll see you in our group. All right.
Okay, awesome.
Okay,
Thanks.
bye-bye.
Bye.